Good afternoon. It's very difficult after lunch time. So मैं कोशिश करता हूँ आपको और आपके अंदर के बैठे सोए जागे इंसान को जगाने की. So कोशिश वही रहेगी. Lovely. How many put their hand up for startup? Very few. Good. So I assume the others will land up doing a job or a passion or a profession. Correct? Good. How many of you, आप में से किन लोगों को 40-45 की उम्र में रिटायर हो जाना है? जिन्होंने हाथ नहीं उठाया फिर से सोच लीजिए. Yeah? Okay. Good. Everybody does. Even I did. I am 51 now, but I'm still far from retirement. Why? Because मुझे जब मैं 25 का था किसी ने आकर ये ज्ञान नहीं दिया था how to get there. So that's what we are going to talk to you about. And all of you are students, and education is what you are currently pursuing, but you also realize education is only a means. वो रास्ता है, वो मकसद नहीं है. Okay, it is an means to an end, means to a journey, means to which takes you to what you could pursue in life as a passion, a profession, a business or employment. And आप सभी लोग किसी ना किसी बकेट में जाकर बैठ जाओगे. बिल्कुल. You can choose to be in your passion. You could be आप फोटोग्राफर बनिए, आप खेल कूद में माहिर हो तो वहाँ आगे बढ़िए, म्यूज़िक हो. प्रोफेशन, I saw we are in the Nirma Institute of Architecture. You could be an architect, doctor, advocate. You could be in employment, in sales, marketing, finance, or in your own business, right? But all of these things that you will undertake immediately after education is for what purpose? क्यों करोगे आप ये सब? चिल क्यों नहीं कर सकते हो? You need money, correct? So you will do one of these things, right? How do you get enough money that you don't have to do this thing for the rest of your life till you reach 51, 61, 71, 81? How do you build something which can finally translate into what I call a financial reservoir? कि यहाँ से उतना ही पानी आप ये डैम से उतना ही पानी छोड़ो जितनी आपकी ज़रूरत हो. You create enough cash flows for yourself on a monthly basis that you actually reach FIRE, which is nothing but financial independence to retire early. That's what it is. And how difficult does this journey seem in life? Okay, that's where I just want to throw some light. ये लगता है कि पूरी जिंदगी निकल जाएगी. The answer is no, it is not difficult at all. I'd like to emphasize on money making. Money making is a simple task. छोटी सी रकम 15,000 महीने का, लंबा समय, वक्त लगता है 25 साल, reasonable return 12%, you will land up with about 2.8 crores. Simple है, right? Why then in India, out of 140 crore population, do we not have 70 crore people that have got 3 crores in financial assets? ऐसा क्यों है? अगर ये फॉर्मूला इतना आसान था तो the missing link, the one thing that we have is discipline. आप सभी लोग काम पे लगोगे, आप सभी के पास 15,000 रुपया होगा निवेश करने के लिए. You will have 15,000 to invest. You are all about 25 years of age and you have 25 years and more to invest. What will be the difference between your friend who will have the money and you will only be one thing, and that is the discipline to continue this journey. And to that end, I will talk to you today about three very important points of life which will make sure that you don't reach a 2.82 crores but a 28.2 crore number as an investment journey. The first lesson of life and why I am not financially independent as yet, the first lesson of life was I did not begin early. What do you mean by beginning early? You know, it's a simple mathematics that actually investment in life should happen here. And for every parent and grandparent that I meet, I keep saying the minute you have a child in your house, the investment journey of this child is beginning from here. What is the difference I'd like to highlight? Somebody puts away 10,000 rupees a month, that's 1,20,000 a year. Does that for 60 years of your life, what does that amount come to? 72 lakhs. At a 9% return, you'll end up with 28 crores. But at a 12% return, you'll end up with how much? 129 crores. If your parents are reaching the age of 60, you should ask them the question, Dad, आपके पास 129 crore है? The answer is no, na? How difficult is it? 12% का रिटर्न मार्केट देगा, मेरे हिसाब से गारंटी कुछ नहीं होता है, बट एस्टिमेट इज या इट्स वेरी लाइकली, इट्स पॉसिबल. क्या आपके पास 10,000 रुपया है? डेफिनेटली है. Then what creates the gap that we don't have so many people with 100 crore investment outcome in life? And that answer is because everybody begins their journey over here. And look at what the difference of the first 30 years versus the last 30 years is. That same 10,000 rupees a month will translate to 1.83 crores at 9%. And instead of 129 crores, it is less than 3.5 crore rupees, even at 12% estimate. This is the need or the importance of beginning early. And while I have shown you this, and it may seem like, oh my God, 60 years, kabhi ye ho payega kya? The hakikat in India is that in the last 45 years, mind you, you have heard of the Nifty and the Sensex? The Sensex was established way back in 1980. 1980 to 2025 is 45 out of that 60-year journey. The Sensex has already been in existence and it has multiplied 654 times in the past 45 years. 1 lakh rupee invested is become 6.5 crore. वो जो 12% का हमने नंबर जोड़ा था is actually delivered in reality 15%. So can you imagine, this talk is not about theory. This is demonstrated for the last 45 years in reality. The importance of beginning early is more emphasized when you realize the cost of delay. Say you are a person who wants to get to 1.5 crore at age 60. If you start at age 25, you need to invest 2,309 rupees a month. But at 25, you rode a bike, you had a girlfriend, you partied hard, you went on holidays. You must do that also. You must. But if you start your investment journey at 30, this number has almost doubled. And you start at 35, the number doubles again. Every 5 years of delayed start to investing doubles the amount that you need to invest to reach the same goal. The converse bhi hakikat hai. Every 5 years of delay will mean at the end of time you will end up with half the corpus. So that's how heavy a price people pay because they did not start early. And my simple mantra to all of you would be, whatever work you pick up, whatever salary you take home, after paying taxes, if at all, any deductions, 50% of the first charge on your take-home salary should be to an investment. and no better way of doing it than an SIP. All you guys know what an SIP, how it works, where to go and find it. But the best way is to live off the last 50% of your take-home salary. The first charge to take home money should be investment. Take this particular example, and just Ramesh, sensible guy, at 25 starts a journey of 15,000, makes 10% return, not even 12. At age 60, 35 years of investing will land up with 9.6 crores. Again, I ask the same question to people. How many people have 10 crores? Very few do. The reason is because at 25, when a guy like me went to work, nobody put this much buddhi in my head कि Sensex is existing. वहाँ पर 15,000 की SIP कर, you will land up with a lot more than that. So I was somebody called Suresh, who starts his journey at 45, puts the same amount of money, कुछ भी कर लो, I'll land up with only 75 lakhs of rupees because I don't have the time for compounding to happen. So I say, oh my God, I am head of sales in UTI. I can now invest 35,000 rupees a month. But because I don't have the time, मैं कुछ भी कर लूँ, I cannot catch up to what I lost between 25 and 45. And this number can be 15,000 a month, 5,000 a month, it doesn't matter. I can keep giving you examples of how early you start, you will benefit versus the big cost that you will pay in terms of delaying. I'm going to just jump this one, but it essentially talks the same message to what is power of compounding. Now, you know the theoretical explanation of power of compounding, right? Very simple. No one put it better than a gentleman called Albert Einstein. He said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. जब ब्याज के ऊपर ब्याज मिलता है, that's true compounding that happens. When do you get allowance from your parents? You all get allowance every month? Yeah? Try this trick with your parents. Okay? Don't tell them I told you to do it. Go home and say, give me pocket money only for 1 day, 1 month. Please don't give me more than that. Promise dad, last time I'm asking for pocket money, ये अगले 1 महीने के लिए मुझे दे दीजिए. पहली तारीख को आप मुझे 1 रुपया दीजिए, दूसरी तारीख को 2, तीसरी तारीख को 4, चौथी तारीख को 8, पांचवी तारीख को 16. Every day double the money, but only for 1 month. If your parent agrees, please give me half of that money. How much money do you think you will take home if you could multiply money every day into 2? Do you think it is 10 lakhs, 1 crore, 10 crores, 20 crores or 30 crores? The answer is actually 107 crores. If your parents gave you pocket money for 1 month, starting 1 rupee and doubled it every day, on 31st day you will receive 107.4 crores. In reality, can money multiply every day, double over? The answer is no. Try the trick. Your parents are smarter than you. They'd probably not agree to it. Take another example. If you take this and extend it further to a Akbar and Birbal example, they wanted to challenge each other in chess. Smart man asked the king, if I win, give me a gold coin on every square, but every subsequent square, double the gold coins. So instead of 31 days, if you did doubling for 64 days, where do you think 104 will land up to? 107 crores lands up to? This is the answer. You cannot read that number very easily. A prize if you can, but the answer is, it is 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709 million, and 600,000. 31 days versus 64 days, power of compounding. All this is theory. All this is to create an impact in your mind to say, how does it truly work. What you learnt about compounding is this formula. Have you learned this formula? A is equal to P into bracket 1 plus R to the power of N. Correct? आज भी मुझे याद है. But इस formula में सबसे important element कौन सा है? R, P. He says time, but he's saying P. But he's saying R. Time. The most important element in any compounding is actually the factor of N. In the world of investing, please remember this. As investors, how many of you invest shares, FNO? Superb. Fantastic. The only thing you've not given your investment is time. Because you are only 25, no? Your journey has only just started. So you are only focused on the factor of R, which is return. For whatever little money that you have, your only focus element has been R. What is most relevant in investing is actually N. Please don't forget this, because this is how money will be made. I am repeating this slide for you to tell you that 45 years, 15% CAGR, so many crises, so many wars, but only possible if you stayed the period of time. The last subject I'd like to touch upon is a subject you know, but very few understand: inflation. You know what is the theoretical explanation of inflation, right? Rise in price of commodities, goods, and services. All of these coins that you see, I don't know if you've ever seen any of these coins. Have you seen them? 5 पैसे का coin कभी देखा आपने? It is legal tender today, but एक सिक्का लेकर आप अकेले एक सिक्के से कुछ भी नहीं खरीद सकते हो. आज एक गले की खराश की गोली भी 1 रुपए की आती है, उसके लिए भी 50 पैसे के 2 सिक्के लगेंगे. This is our theoretical explanation of inflation. Price of milk, you will hear in your house, price of electricity, price of tomatoes, कांदे का भाव कितना बढ़ गया, ये सब discussions होते रहते हैं. But true inflation is not this. True inflation is actually in our lifestyles, where कल की जो luxuries थी, have you seen any of these items? आपके घर पे तो नहीं देखा होगा, शायद सिर्फ गूगल पे देखा होगा. This is what a television used to look like. This is a telephone. This is what all of these items look like today. The phone and the camera got merged into one. The fan got replaced by an air conditioner, and the television became thinner, flatter, and now became curved again. So the true inflation is not in the price of tomatoes and onions. It is in this change that has happened. And for most young people, it is this aspiration of wanting goods, wanting products, wanting a lifestyle. Nothing wrong with it. Mind you, I am no guy who says कि घड़ी अच्छी मत पहनो. Clear? I am no guy who says कि oh, don't carry a good. I've got a Mont Blanc visiting card holder. But I am still that guy who says that first you make your investments and then you spend on a lifestyle that you would like to lead. The reverse, which is the case with most people when they start working, you will first aspire to own your own vehicle, your own tablet, your own phone, your own this, that. That is what becomes a very large drag to the investment outcome and becoming wealthy in life. Let me give you this in last 2 examples before I close. You know, the iPhone was launched in 2007. Okay, the first iPhone. This is what it looked like. It was launched for $500. तब डॉलर रुपये का भाव था 50 रुपए. तो ये फोन आपका हो सकता था 25,000 रुपए में। यही फोन के बदले में इसको छोड़ते हुए एप्पल के शेयर्स अगर आपने पकड़े होते, उस वक्त $4 का शेयर था एप्पल का, $125 में आपको $500 में आपको 125 शेयर मिलते। टुडे द प्राइस ऑफ एप्पल शेयर इज $250 a share. This what you bought for 25,000 rupees. Had you bought the owner, not the product, it would be valued at 28 lakh rupees in your hand. Now, mind you, again, I will say, I'm not saying don't buy a phone, don't buy an Apple phone, but first complete your investment journey and then begin your consumption journey. Let me bring this closer to home. How many of you have had a Maruti car in your house at some time, or today you have a Maruti car? Do you know the Maruti Alto was launched in 2003 for a price of 3 lakhs of rupees. 22 साल के बाद ये गाड़ी अगर आप बेचने जाओ 15,000 रुपए से ज्यादा नहीं मिलेंगे आपको। बट उस वक्त पर मान लीजिए आपके हाथ में 6 लाख थे, आपने पहले मारुति के शेयर 3 लाख रुपए के लिए होते और फिर मारुति गाड़ी 3 लाख की लिए होती। These shares are valued today for 3 crores. You could be driving a Rolls Royce without a problem. But for everyone who had only 3 lakhs of rupees and went and bought the Maruti car, all you were left was a piece of metal valued at 50,000 in scrap. And that, I think, is the biggest danger that all youngsters carry when they are entering their workforce is lifestyle inflation. The first charge to your salary and towards your goal of independence has to be investment, and then everything else that you'd like to do. Let's stop over here. Thank you very much for patient listening. Please implement this in your lifetime.